not about just stepping back. From the first time that I saw Tony's stuff on tape a few years back, I liked it. I spoke to different people about some of the things they were doing. I was actually clinicking another staff that had to play against them the first time I saw him. I thought his stuff was, very good. So it was very similar to what we did. I thought, I wanted to be able to throw the football at a certain level, and he had some of the things that I've always wanted to do. And we're together a lot as an offense and as a defense. So by the time the product hits the field, they don't have a lot of my influences, but at the same time, I respect the talent that we have at all of our positions in our staff.
Where does James Summers fit into the equation?
I mean, he fits in a lot of places. We're going to do things to try to get him to football without always him coming in and taking you to the football defensively, if you know what I'm saying. We think that he has position flexibility. I know that he can play receiver. I know that he can play quarterback. I know that he can play running back, and I know that he can play tight end. I've never been able to say that about any kid that I've ever coached, ever, in any situation. So these are the things that we know. Now what we're going to do is make sure that we get ourselves and put ourselves in a place where we can put together a plan where he's successful doing it and not disrupt the offense. And I think that we can do that.
What was attractive to you about what Scotty Montgomery was doing here in East Carolina specifically?
Yeah, so obviously in 2012 when I got the job in Miami, Scotty was still with the Steelers. So we worked together on a lot of pro days and the combine and things like that. And we were also teammates together back in 2001 and 2002 with the Broncos. So I've known Scotty for about 16 years. So I know what type of man he is. And as you get older in this profession and you have more experience, you start to really focus in, trying to surround yourself with good leaders, good managers, good administration, good football executives. So that's what attracted me to this program. Obviously, I know Scotty as a coach. He's top-notch. He's a very impressive person as a man. And I also know that he wouldn't surround himself with anything less than first-class organization and administration and leadership from organization from a university standpoint. So those are some of the really key things that I look for when you're trying to make a decision where you want to work. I'm going to move everybody around. The way I coach the receiver position is philosophically much different than what they've had in the past. And a lot of college programs go inside and outside receivers. I develop wide receivers, so when they get to the NFL, if you look back at the history of the guys I've coached the last 4 years with the Miami Dolphins, my slot receivers not only play slot, but they play outside. I develop holistic receivers, the whole totality of the position. So as they don't play inside, they play outside. So ideally, you're going to have a 6-foot body, and they're going to be able to know every single position across the entire formation. So Jarvis Landry can play inside and outside. Greg Jennings can play inside and outside. Rashard Matthews is now with the Titans, can play inside and outside. Brandon Gibson can play inside and outside. It really helps the whole offense. You can line guys up in multiple positions, and you can play them all across the board. So there is no inside and outside receivers. I got 15 guys in my room, and I teach them the entire offense from a concept standpoint, so they understand football. And everybody learns all the cuts that you're going to run from the inside outside receiver position. So we just try to develop the entire player to be the best receiver that they possibly can be.
Now that you have your personnel, you're getting ready for the season to start. I mean, what areas do you think this unit is at its strongest? What areas do you think that you guys are really strong in specifically?
Well, I'm trying to develop an attitude, toughness. I want guys to be very smart. I want them to know multiple positions. I think every day I want to build the mental toughness of this group up. And what we're really trying to do is really challenge them every day. I might take a look at a lineup where Trayvon's an outside receiver, where Quay's an inside receiver, where Zay's an outside receiver. Then the next day I might move Zay inside and move Trayvon to where Zay was with Jimmy at the Z, or give Ferrier a chance at the inside. So I'm going to challenge them every day, and I'm not always going to give them a reason why I'm going to do that. I just want to look at a number of different lineups, see the chemistry, different guys at different positions. I want to challenge them for a number of different reasons. Also, I want to be able to develop depth across the board, so guys can have a multitude of positions they can play. I want them to develop different facets of their game and my job primarily as a coach is to develop their skills, but also to create a game-like environment in every single day. So I can't bring in 48,000 people or 55,000 people and fill the stands up and create a game-like environment. But what I can do is in the morning in a meeting say, hey, this is what I'm going with the first group today. And then the guy who was with the first group yesterday is thinking, well, did I do something to get demoted? I said, no, I'm just taking a look at a different lineup. Or maybe, yeah, you did do something to get demoted. So I have to create that competition within the group no matter what. If this group was not very talented, then I'd have to create competition to raise the talent. If the group is very talented, then I got to create a competitive environment to make sure that those talented players are being pushed and being challenged every single day. So that's what I owe it to them, is to create that game-like environment, create different scenarios and different situations that are going to really challenge them, and in turn it challenges me to make sure I'm putting the best lineup on the field that's going to give us the most productive product on Saturday afternoon.
One last thing, when you get public endorsements from some of your guys in the NFL, like Greg Jennings, who just retired, Ryan Hartline, how does that help recruiting, and how does it help guys in your own receiving corps to buy in quickly?
We haven't really talked about it in our room, but I know I've had some recruits reach out. I think it's nice for the kids to see that, and I've certainly appreciated it. And I think it may help in the room down the line, because those guys, all the players that tweet things and say nice things, I can promise you there are times when they weren't thinking very nice things about me, but they understand that that's part of the process. So I tell my players the same thing. I got a cell phone full of friends, and you're not one of them. You're one of my players, and I'm your coach. We can have a friendly relationship. I like to joke, I like to laugh, I like to have fun. But my job primarily is to get you better. So whatever I have to do to kind of dig and needle and get the most out of you, I'm going to do it. I'm going to think of creative ways when I can't sleep at night. I'm going to think of ways to get under your skin and to challenge you. I can tell you times last year where Jarvis Slinger didn't want to talk to me. The weekend, you know what, quite frankly, I didn't really want to talk to him. Early in the year, he said he wants to make a Pro Bowl. So I knew what he had to do to make a Pro Bowl. And every time he would resist me, I kind of say, do you want to go to Hawaii or not? You know what I mean? And he would kind of get back into his little mode and do what he had to do. So everybody has a goal. Rashard Matthews had a goal. He wanted to get his second contract, and he got a 3-year, $15 million deal from Tennessee. So everything was focused on that. Zay has a goal. Trayvon has a goal. They all told me their goals. So when things get tough, tell them, hey, this is your goal. This is something that you want to do. So at the end of the day, you got to find a way to motivate these guys. And the best coaches I've ever been around, they weren't my best friends. They were guys who challenged me, who found a way to needle me, who got the most out of me. Whether I was a practice squad player or I was a key contributor on the team, those are the guys that you really respect. Those are the people that brought the best out of you. So when you think back, whether it's a college coach who challenged you when you were the starter, or somebody when you were on the practice squad, or John Gruden giving you a hard time about not making enough catches during your practice, you start thinking about, wow, that really impacted me at that moment. I tried to really push and show them something. So I try to look back at those moments and try to do it in a positive way, and try to find guys that really will respond to some of the challenges and some of the things that you lay out for them on a daily basis.
Coach Thompson. So what was that relationship like? Where did that begin with Coach Thompson?
Well, obviously I was at Vanderbilt. I was there for 3 years, and Coach Mason came in. I was with Coach Franklin before he left to go to Penn State, and I stayed on at Vanderbilt. So obviously Coach Thompson came in. So I've kind of been a part of a coaching staff transition before when new guys come in to understand. So they came in, and obviously we hit it off, and helping install this defense. This is kind of my second time installing this defense with a new group of guys. So when he came over, obviously it was something that naturally fits.
How much of an idea did you have that Coach Thompson was going to try and get you on the staff?
You never know. I always have approached, when it comes to jobs and career advancement, all those things, you just work, do your job to the best of your ability, and what happens. And I wouldn't say I had an inclination one way or the other.
Coach Montgomery said you can't replace a guy like Zeke Bigger, the inside backer. But what makes this group of inside linebackers unique?
I think the thing that makes these guys unique is the fact that their drive to want to get better. These guys understand kind of what we've lost in the past. Guys that were good in the past that they understand they're trying to fill some big shoes. And it's a collective thing from a group. One guy doesn't replace a person such as Zeke. It's a collective effort from the group, and I think they've done a good job in how they've prepared this offseason from the end of spring to now, and how successful they're going to be. They're working.
Who do you think that would start of the day would be your Mike and your Sam?
Right right now, really, I can't say necessarily if it's a number one, clear cut number one, number two. I think there's several guys. I think Jordan Williams, Cam White, Ray Tillman, even Pat Green. I think those guys are kind of all in the mix. I always make the comment to those guys in the room every day. There's never really a clear cut 1 and 2 because as soon as somebody goes down, the next guy's got to be ready. I'm not one of those guys that thinks that 2 guys can play the entire season.
Yeah.
You got to have some guys that are really healthy, and you really got to get some experience with everybody because when your number 1 guy goes down, if you haven't given any reps to the second guy, you're going out with a guy that's an unproven commodity, and that's not necessarily what you want.
We had a poll question this week. Bert Gregory's obviously had a great week on this great couple of years. Is it possible for the best player on a good football team to be a punter?
Sometimes you hope not, but I guess maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's a good answer. So, because we actually a good part, someone who plays a big part of our team is Andrew Bays, who's one of the first team All-Americans ECU's ever had. One of the 2. He's a punter.
Okay.
But this unit with work, how far ahead is he of some of than what you expected when you first got here, or is he exactly what you thought he would be?
I think yesterday, as we do our special teams at the start of fall camp, everything we do, our first 4 or 5 days are built on just drills, fundamentals, techniques, things like that. So we really haven't gotten to a lot of scheme stuff, but we did hit a first couple punch yesterday. We'll get into a little bit more today, but the way he hit the ball yesterday, I was very excited about. Probably first day out of having a summer run. I mean, obviously he kicked and things like that in the summer, but I think coming in, what he did yesterday really got me excited because again, it was only 2 punts because again, we're kind of just learning it and building it. But I mean, they came off his foot very well. The ball location that we want was very well. The biggest thing, in my opinion, that Worth Gregory brings to the table, whether it's as a full team or just as specialist unit, is his leadership. He's always on the ball. He gets guys going in the right direction. If the group wants to meet or if the group has a question, it's usually him. Text me, he's like, "Hey, coach, can we do this today?" And then if I say yeah, he relays it. I mean, I don't need to do that. Or if I need to get some of those guys, I can either text them all or I can get it to Worth and he'll get it to them in a heartbeat. So, I mean, he does a great job of being that. And again, I think he does a great job on the field of leading by example. He's not afraid to get out guys and those kind of deals.
Who do you ideally want to be your kick return punter?
Right now we got a lot of guys trying out for it, but I think you look at Quay, you look at Isaiah, you look at Draymond Brown. Those are the guys that have at least done it in games and guys that put all their hands a lot. But catching punts is so much different than catching kickoffs. Those are probably the 3 guys I feel.
What makes it so different for those who may not understand?
The biggest thing is just the flight of the ball. Okay, so we got a whole page in our playbook that talks about if you have a right-footed punter, if the nose does this, nose does that. If the wind's behind him, the wind's in front of him, all those deals. So, and again, it's easy to read it, but you still got to go out and do it. But the thing that's tough on guys is as you see the flight of that ball, you have to have a feel to where if that nose is up a little bit, it's going to drop straight down. If that ball starts turning over, it's going to keep coming to you. It's not as easy as just playing center field. It's not those fly balls that just go up and down. I mean, you kind of got to know and stuff, and then you just got to have the confidence that you're looking up as 6-7 people are running full speed at you. So, I mean, you got to be fingers crossed, elbows tight, hands together, a sprinter stance. I mean, just all those things. So it's a little bit different mentality for that where, kickoff return, balls are kind of just nice, easy balls. They're a little bit more like those center field fly balls. They're just kind of up and down, a little easier to judge, a little bit longer to judge. So, and you get a guy like our returns. We talked about it on our punt return meeting. Even Coach Mo talked about it with our returns, just about how dynamic they can be. Teams start punting away from you. You don't have near as much time to adjust to that ball like you do a kickoff, where if you're on a hash, they kick it to the other hash, there it goes. And if you have a chance to scoop it off one bounce, great. But if you have a chance to scoop it and you let it go by you and we lose another 18 yards of field position, that's when life isn't very good. So you got a little stress on you back there. So, but I think we do. And we've got some young guys that I think can develop into really, really good football players back there too. And those are still some of the same guys on kick return, but we're looking at DeAndre Ferrier, Amos, a couple guys like we're really it's open competition all across the board.
What's the strength of this offensive line?
I hope that one thing I noticed the first couple of days is we're faster than a lot. Credit Coach C, but we can run right now. So hopefully our athleticism.
What questions are you looking to answer that you don't know the answer to right now, but you hope to know by September the 3rd?
Can the young guys play? And I don't care. I let it out there. I don't care if a freshman plays. I started 2 of them at middle last year. So I believe if they play as a freshman, they're a lot better as a sophomore. So I don't care. I told my guys every day, I'm playing with these guys. And, we got some good young talent here. Just got to get them ready. I got the whole month of August. And then, if they're not ready about the first week, maybe they're ready about the 4th week. That still helps this football team win games. So that's my mentality.
Chief, the voice is hoarse. Is that a good sign or a bad sign 2 days
Well, people think, you yell all the time. All that. No, coaches don't talk like we do on the field for 7 months out of the year. And then all of a sudden we go coach 2 practices in one day.
It's always the first week, right?
Yeah, so it's we're doing split practice. We get done with practice and we go coach young guys. So you're not doing it once, you're doing it twice.
Okay, so do the big guys room together in the dorms? I was about to say, man, living in a dorm room, 90-degree heat. I mean, what's that like? As someone who probably you were an offensive lineman yourself.
I think this is
living in the dorm rooms, big guys in small rooms. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I think this is great. We make everybody move in the dorms. They take buses over and back. We take their car keys. This is good. I like that. A lot of places don't do that. They can, in middle, our guys live off campus. You know what I'm saying? So this is camp. It's different.
But you look at the personnel now, and you can make a good argument that the running backs is where, as deep as you are, there might be more good running backs than good receivers. When you have this deep of a backfield, how does it work in this offense to make sure you best utilize it?
Well, the best way it works is we're going to try to tempo, we're try to get plays right. So accordingly, you're going to need more than one running back, 80 plus to 100 plays a game. So, in a good offense, you're going to need 3 good backs with 4th one ready to go at all times, because you can be 2 injuries away from being on the 5th back. So you have to get all of them ready. And actually, the air raid is just kind of a tight, they throw it around, but they still need the backs. They got to be able to do the same thing. They got to be able to run between the tackles. They got to be able to catch. They got to be able to block. And that's what we need ours to do. So it's kind of the same thing.
Do coaches really shoot to have a running back by committee, or is it running back by committee until one guy really stands out?
I think everybody wants one guy to stand out, but college football and NFL football has evolved so much. If you're playing tempo and you're getting 100 plays, that's a lot for one guy. Back in the days when we would run 65 plays to give one back 40 carries, that was not too much. But now when you're crossing the 80-play threshold, the 100-play threshold, to ask one guy to get that amount of work done, that's a lot. 12 games a season, 13 if we get a bowl. So now you want one guy to stand out, but you also want to have 2 and 3 ready to go at all times.
So you have the 2 Scots. They're both on a scholarship. You have Coppert, who comes in, obviously, scholarship too. And then you have Anderson, who just made on scholarship today. How do you work all these backs in?
And you forgot Furlow.
Forgot about Furlow. And he's on scholarship.
Yeah, he's on scholarship. So what you do, they understand the room. The room is competition. The room is do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do a high school. So if you're doing that, it's going to show. But if you're not, the next man up is going to do it. So we also creating the next man up team. So we're going to keep rolling, and keep working. Competition going to bring the best out of you. Competition will make you either stand up or it's going to make you crumble. I used to always pressure bust pipes and make diamonds. So that's what's going to happen.
I think it would be an understatement to say you've been the hell back in a lot of ways, but do you feel like in any way you've been given a second chance?
Yeah, absolutely. It is a second chance, and I'm very grateful for it. It's completely made me a better person. I'm very happy with where I am as a football player and as a human being right now.
Were you given a scholarship?
Here? Yes. Yeah. Originally I was a walk-on.
You were originally a walk-on, so now you're back here on the scholarship, getting ready for the season. What are the expectations for this team?
You know what? Coach Mo says it all the time. We want to come out. We want to win every single game. And I think the just to take that week by week, focus on game one right now, and just prepare to be able to know that we're going to take it week by week and not get ahead of ourselves.
One thing I know, leadership is something that Coach Mo has always attached to you these last couple of days and even today. What things do you do knowingly that is examples of leadership?
I always try to lead by example, but I also try to make sure that I know everybody. I really try to make sure that I can relate to everybody. That's somebody that I've always been. I've been able to relate to other people, get to know them, be able to always have conversations. And I think if you ask my teammates, I think they all can see that I don't just hang around one or two groups of people. I like to hang out with everybody. I'm a big people person, so those guys always know that I'll do anything for them. So,
with the facial hair and the long hair, do you have any nicknames? Has anyone called you anything?
Man, I get a whole lot of them. But when I had this in Minnesota, they called me the Mankato Jesus. That's what so
we're gonna make that stick.
Okay.
Thanks, Coach Mo said you are a player that he's never seen before, and what I mean by that, someone who can play tight end, someone who can run, someone who can play quarterback. What do you ideally see your role being on this team?
Just helping the team wherever I can, He gives me a challenge every time. He asks me to switch a position, I just take it on. I go out there and practice as hard as I can and just learn the fundamentals of every position. I just go hard.
You're like East Carolina's Cordell Stewart.
I don't know about all that, but I try hard, man.
Okay, so what's the expectations for this team this year?
The expectations is to win every game. That's what we want to go into the season with our mindset, and that's how we gotta attack every game like that, week by week. But we gotta take it one game at a time. We should have a great season.
If it's not quarterback, how do you see yourself fitting in though? Say in the backfield, tight end.
Oh yeah, slot receiver, running back. All different type of places where they can just give me touches, or I can just produce, help the team out, whether I'm blocking or I'm running or catching.
Now that you've got done with the summer with Coach Connors, how excited are you to be here at camp?
Oh, I'm very excited, man. It's my first and unfortunately my last camp, but it's very exciting, man. And the energy around here is outrageous, and that's what keeps us going. So I'm very, very excited.
Obviously, second on the team in tackles last year. You returned. Zeke's no longer there. There's a lot of question marks on D, who's going to be the leader. Have you been tapped by coaches to try and take on more of a leadership role?
Yes, sir. A few players on the defense have been tapped for that leadership role, and I believe we're taking full advantage of it. We got a few leaders, Deshaun Amos, Bobby Vogt, me, and Fred Preston.
What kind of things has Coach Dan Anderson taught you? Obviously, different coaches can teach you different things.
I guess the difference between last year and this year. Last year was more of a 3-4 odd. This year it's a multiple defense. We need to attack you in different ways. And Coach Anderson says the most unpredictable defense is the best defense.
Does it make sense him and Coach Thompson have a history together? Does it make it kind of easier to understand what's going on when you're position coach, also coach with your defensive coordinator?
Oh yes, because they go hand in hand, and they know the defense like the back of their hand. So
now that this defense doesn't have Zeke, if you don't have Zeke next to you in the middle of this team, how is it going to be different for you personally?
It's definitely going to be different without that leader on the field. He brings that second energy. But we're just going to have to adapt. It's a new year, and we're just going to have to adapt.
Jordan, what's it like, people who haven't been a part of it with football players, fall camp, in the dorms, you're a pretty big guy. If you're rooming with other guys who are big guys as well in a small dorm room, in between hitting each other in 90-degree heat multiple times a day, what is that like at the end of the day?
It gets hostile in there, so we're all big guys, and I know they do it at the next level too in the NFL. Even though they have all that money, they're still in the little dorms and camps and stuff like that. And the other day I seen the Steelers, they were still riding the school buses and stuff. So yeah, we're just gonna have to get used to it.
Running backs, there's a lot of them. There's 5 of you guys with scholarship. Is there enough ball to go around between you guys?
I mean, yeah, they make sure we all get an equal amount of reps. So I mean, there's enough ball to go around. Nobody's not thought we all here to work on one goal, and it's just to get better day by day. So everybody get the equal amount of reps.
It seems like that all these backs though can do different things. You're much more of the speedster, but do you compete to try and be more of the thoroughbred back, or do you like this committee deal?
I mean, I try to be. I I be who I am, but I try to like pick up different things so that I can just like put a move on somebody sometimes or get the dirty yards when need to. So I'm learning from all the best, even though like we are competing at a job. I still sit back and analyze all of them to see what I can pick up from them.
How's the running back's responsibility in this offense different under Coach Montgomery than Coach McNeil?
I mean, it's a lot different. Now they're just like very specific with like the little details. Like any little detail can mess up the whole play, like hurt the whole offensive goal. So they just very meticulous about every little detail. So.
Okay, we'll break it down for you. You got the jersey on. What do you like about it? What areas about this jersey do you like?
It's just tight around the ribs, so they can't nobody really grab on me. So I really like it.
I mean, the 3 stripes, man. 3-stripe life.
3 for 3.
That's it. 3 for 3. Yeah. Competition going with you and the defense guys. How are you guys making each other better?
It's great competition. I like to joke around and tell Amos that I beat him every time, but it's not the case. Deshaun Amos is a great defensive back for us. Colby Gore, the young freshman, is doing a phenomenal job. I'm really proud of him. Trayvon Simmons and Bobby Fulton coming off the shoulder injuries, they're doing a great job as well. So we have great DBs that are competitive, making competitive plays, and it's been great to go against those guys and get better.
And not a whole lot of respect from the conference media and the media day. What do you have to say about having lots of proof?
Yeah, I'm used to that. I've kind of been an underrated guy in high school, and this team and this university has been an underrated university. But I know that we can compete at the highest level. We can play with the best teams because we are a great team. And I firmly believe that. So people are going to say what they want. Preseason things really don't matter. It all matters at the end of the season, and we'll see what those stat sheets say when we go out there and win.
Is it always an advantage to have people think that the bar is that low? Because, I mean, not only maybe be overlooked, but, I mean, it kind of gives you the opportunity to overachieve, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Our expectations are the one that matters, not outside people's. And so we have our goals, we know what we need to do, and we're going to handle our business day in and day out.
If you were complimented for your aggressiveness on Thursday by Coach Bo, what happened?
Football. Football's an aggressive game. I'm not afraid of anyone. I like to compete. I like to battle. I like to get in your face when things get heated. So that's just how it is.
A little bit of Trayvon wearing off in you. That's kind of been his style. Yeah. He's kind of the physical guy.
When push comes to shove, you can't really back down the football field. So I mean, you have to do what you got to do out there.
How much does it help you having a guy like Trayvon on the other side? Coach McGugan said that there's a possibility both of you get 100 catches this year.
Trayvon is an elite player, and I don't shy away from saying that. Trayvon is a playmaker. He reminds me of a Des Bryant type guy, a guy who can go up and get it. And I watch Trayvon's film and I try to take things away from his game. It just goes to show you how good of a player he is. I hope he gets more chances to show how elite he is this year with his playmaking ability. Really impressed with him. I'm impressed with our receiver core as a group because we have guys that are stepping up. DeAndre Bear is coming in and doing a great job for us. Quay Johnson is filling some points at the inside slot position because I'm moving outside. So we have guys that are doing a great job. It's going to take a while for all to come together, but day by day we're getting better.
Coach McGugan also mentioned that he doesn't teach outside and inside receiver. He teaches you how to be a good wide receiver in all facets. As someone who's adjusting to play more of an outside role, with his background, what's some of the things that he's taught you that stands out from the first couple months you've been with him?
Well, you said it. Our system before previously was a little skewed, a little different, and unique in the sense where there was inside, outside. But in a traditional receiver sense, you have to be able to have the versatility to do both. I always felt like I had that versatility. I wasn't able to show it quite as much in the past seasons because I was limited to the slot. But playing this offense, I'm going to be able to do both inside and outside. And I give great credit to him, Coach Phil, for allowing me to do that. He showed me, how to run the post route, the fade route, different combinations, routes that you usually would see in the NFL. So, I mean, a huge credit to him, just how to get in and out of my cut, how to work defensive backs at the top of the route. So, I feel like I'm really expanding my game.
Your goal is obviously to make it to the NFL. When you see guys like Greg Jennings, Jarvis Landry, and great receivers shout out your position coach, how does that make it a lot easier to buy in what this guy is saying?
It puts it all in perspective. It makes it realistic. I know I can achieve it. It's there when you don't have the coach coach that's maybe played at the professional level or had that experience, sometimes you can probably doubt yourself because you haven't been with that type of person. But when you see that person coming in the room every day and putting on the film and teaching you, now you start to realize, okay, I can play at this level. I can do these certain things. Now I'm a firm believer in being a visionary person. If you see it, you can go out and you can achieve it. And I definitely see it every day.
Say, be honest with me. Do you like these jerseys because it makes it easier to show off your guns?
Yeah, I think it makes me look really, really good. And the purple makes me look, pretty lean and cut. So I like it a lot.
You're the best, dude.